Hi everyone, welcome to another OnSide how-to video. Today we're going to be going through creating a property from start to finish, as well as going through the tabs as an admin. So that's going through the website, onside.co.nz, and just log into your account. So you'll see here I've got a few properties, but let's create another one. So you're going to see this to start off with. If you've already created one property, this will start appearing in the second property and thereafter. So I accept that adding a property will alter the OnSide subscription amount, and I have authority to make the changes that will affect billing. I do. Property name, let's go with something creative like Jimmy Test Property 6. I'm going to say mine will be an arable property, and the address will be let's go 100 Rapaki Road. I'll edit this later. Not even sure if there is a Rapaki Road in Canterbury, so let's see how this goes. Set the boundary. Here we are. So we've got the Rapaki track. So just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to grab a boundary. Let's say I'll follow the line exactly, make it look nice and pretty. Just going to choose this little square here. Save. And of course, you've also got the option of using a lens title. So if you want to use the lens title, just simply jump in and click, and it will pull the title of the land. I'll use that one, that's fine. Great. So further down, you can add a photo of the property if you want to. The best practice for this is to add a photo of the entranceway to the property, because that's what people are going to be looking for. Register. Cool. So I've made my property. From here, I'm going to be able to add in my property rules. I'm going to be able to create my team, be able to add in my risks, set up my emergency plan, and set the jobs as well. But before I do that, I've realized, no, I got my boundary wrong. I have to go back and I have to fix it. So I jump into the info tab and I can edit everything about the property. So I can fix the name, I can fix the property type, fix the address. So let's go Rapaki Track, Canterbury. I'm going to edit the boundary. I'm not happy with it. So I've decided I do actually want to get this little square of land in here. So I'm just going to pull that out. Cool. I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to put that there as well. And save. Yes, that looks much better. I'm happy with that. And then you've also got the option of disabling alerts for the property. So when you're setting up your risk register, it's best to turn this off so that you don't get notifications about every risk that's been added. Because if you're going to be adding 15 risks, essentially it's going to be 15 emails going out to you to notify you that risks have been added to your property. So just for the setup phase, it's best to turn this on and then turn it off after you've set up all of your risks. So if you do have this turned on and you've got it permanent, you're still going to get alerts for incident and risk reporting from people actually going to the property. Update. And done. It's looking how I want it now. Perfect. So now I can continue on my way and start adding in the rest of the details from my property. Okay, so continuing along, let's go into our property rules. So property rules are basically, this is going to be part of the sign-in process or the check-in process for a visitor going to your property. They're going to see a warning, and it's going to be property specific. You're going to be able to give them a list of rules or some information as to what they need to do regarding this risk. So for example, if I go velvet leaf bug present, this is going to show up as a red warning saying exactly that. Then I'm going to have some rules in here. So I'm going to say all machinery must be cleaned before and after use. Let's see, and let's go harvesting area must be inspected prior to harvest. So these are ones that I've entered in before. That's why I've got the options to create them. And then from there, you're going to be able to add files as well. So if I go, this is a picture of velvet leaf. I'm going to choose a picture of velvet leaf somewhere. It is velvet leaf. Nice. And I'll save. Cool. So during the sign-in process, they're going to see a red warning saying velvet leaf bug present, and they're going to have the list of rules and also the picture available there as well. And then you can also attach a PDF with further information if you want. But it's not just limited to biosecurity issues or health or disease issues. It could be anything that you want in here, including where you want people to park and just general information about your property that you feel that visitors need to know about. So going over to the team. So this is fairly straightforward. So I've got myself in there and I'm the bill payer and contact person for the property. So the contact person of the property will have the phone number in the app for the visitor, but it's not going to state their name for privacy reasons. So it's fairly straightforward to add people in. You've got the first name, you've got the last name, email and phone number. I'll just do this as an example. Okay, so further down here, you're going to see job role. So if you want to, you could go, let's go site manager. Anything you want there. This is purely for your purpose, just so you can, if you have a lot of people in the team, you can clearly see what each of their roles are. So then you get the option of adding admin rights for that person. So if you give them admin rights, they're going to be able to do everything on your account that you can, and they'll also get the check-in and check-out notification for visitors. If you choose not to give them admin rights, they're going to have to check into the property to be able to get those notifications, and they can't edit anything, but they can still report risks and incidents just as a visitor would. So I'll go add. Cool. So you'll see there it says invited. So once they've confirmed their account through the email that they receive from you creating their account, then that's going to come up with, say, team member. Jumping over to risks. So let's go add your risks. So anything you choose on the left-hand side is going to populate in the right. So if I go other, I'm going to go harvesting or felling trees. That populates a lot of information about that specific risk. So harvesting or felling trees, being crushed by fallen trees or equipment, some safety information. Now I get to choose where I want it placed on the map. So I guess I'm going to have to choose where the only trees on my property are. Say these ones. So you can draw the risk area if it encompasses more than just one place. Otherwise, you can always go pinpoint risk location. So that's helpful for us when it's only in one particular location, like gas tanks and things like that. But for this one, I'm going to actually do it as a risk boundary. Makes more sense. So there are 3 types of risks. You've got the drawing boundary, which we're doing now. You've got the pinpoint. You've also got the general risk. So if you choose to skip over this, it's going to apply the risk to the whole property. Basically, what that means is it's not going to be available on the map, but it will still be available to the visitors as an other risk. So things like sun exposure, dehydration, that sort of thing, things that apply everywhere, that's where you would have a general risk. You wouldn't put it on the map. So then you can choose to put a photo of the risk there as well. Otherwise, it will assign a generic one. So further down, you've got risk management. So this is completely internal. Your visitors can't see this. This is what you're doing to analyze and to mitigate risk. So first you have the consequence. So how severe could it be? So tree felling, you're looking at a tree falling on someone. That's fatality. So there's always that possibility. The exposure occurs which frequency. So let's go 6 monthly. If I get my trees felled every 6 months, which will be unlikely. So further down, you've got risk management actions. So this is everything that you're doing to try to minimize the risk. So you've got, for this example, ensure that contractors have a safety management plan, ensure that all people know when and where logging and tree felling is taking place, and ensure all people felling trees are trained and competent. And then you can add from there as well. So going further down, we go for the actions completed. Let's go, I've completed the actions and the risk is minimized. So it's minimized because I have management actions in place. It's not eliminated because if the risk is eliminated, you wouldn't have it on the risk register. So if you're going to eliminate a risk later on, if you've found a way to remove from your property, then you can come back into the risk and you can just go risk is eliminated. So save new risk. Done. There it is there. And then you can also view what it looks like on the map. So there is the boundary that I drew. So let's jump back into the risk. So if you're wanting to create your own risk, so you're not able to find something that quite fits from these pre-filled templates, do it yourself. So let's go falling from heights. Let's say hidden cliff. Take care around northeastern ridge. And then you can put further information if you want to, just whatever you feel is relevant. And then you can place it on the map again. Let's go, I said northeast, didn't I? So I'm going to have to put it in the northeast. There, cool, that looks good. So risk management, fatality risk, and it's constant. Anytime a visitor goes to the site, there's always that chance that it's going to happen. So my actions, signage, area is fenced off. Minimized it by doing those actions. Save. Done. Now we're going to see them both on there. Cool. Looks good. Going back to the list, I've decided no, my tree felling is not quite right. I want to encompass another area. So I'm going to go edit risk location, and I'm just going to drag this a little bit and make it a little bit bigger over here as well. Save. And then you just go save changes. So that updates it. Great. So that's the risks. When you're first setting up your property, this is where you're going to spend most of your time, but this is just a one-off thing. Later on down the track, it's just going to be general maintenance. You're going to be aware of what's coming and going from your property, so you will update the risk register accordingly, but people will also be able to report risks to you as well. So then jumping into incidents. So if something does happen on your property, a visitor can lodge an incident or report an incident, and this is exactly the screen that they'll see on their phone. So it contains quite a lot of information, but it's better to be safe than sorry to make sure you've got everything that's happened. So you've got first name and last name, employment status and phone number. Then you've got details about the incidents in the area, when it occurred, how long you'd been working, and then you can record the location of the incident. So I'm going to pinpoint, I'm going to say it happened right here next to these trees. And then you go further down. So then you've got type of incident, the injury that's occurred, where on the body, the description of the incident, the requirements of the affected person. So what's the consequence of them having this incident, and when you expect them to be back. If you want to, you can also put photos. So further down, you've got risk management. How serious could it have been? And is it on the risk register, yes or no? And would you like to add it to your risk register after saving this report? So if you go yes, and you submit the incident report, it's going to take you through to the risk page to be able to report a risk and send it through to the property admin. Okay, emergency plan. So it's essential that this is set up early on the property setup process. So all of your property information, so road name, rapid number, and if you're a dairy company, your supply number. Obviously, emergency services are 111. But then you've also got some more specific details further on. So telephone number of the nearest neighbour, the contact person of the property, telephone number of the contact person, first aid trained person, and their contact number. So you've also got emergency plan locations. So where can I put a helicopter? I'm going to say here, helicopter landing coordinates, a meeting point if there is an accident, I'm going to say there, and if there's a fire, I'm going to say there. And actually, I'll put one over here as well. Medical kits, imagine there's a shed here and I've just put my medical kit there. Done. If you scroll down, you'll also notice you've got helicopter landing coordinates. Cool, save. Oh, I need to name it. I can do that another time. Actually, Rapaki track. That's what we called it. And my rapid number, just put that for now. Cool, so that's in there now. Jumping over to jobs. So you'll be able to select a list of jobs for your property specific to your property. So you go through and tick them and then save at the end there. And then when the visitors are going onto the property, they'll be able to choose from these so you know exactly what they're doing. And then they can also put a comment as well if they feel some added details necessary. So the final thing, if we jump back by clicking the OnSide logo, we can jump into reporting. So you'll be able to report on all of your properties at once if you wanted to. I'm just going to report on that one. And then you can choose from risks, incidents, or visitors, and then the format that you want, as well as the date range. And you just download. So that is basically it. That is creating a property from start to finish in OnSide. Thanks.